Hi, I'm Don. I'm a 20-year prostate cancer survivor, and recently I was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. This will be my last Christmas. Jesus' half-brother, James, tells us in chapter 1 to count it all joy whenever we fall into various trials, knowing that these trials will test our faith, and from that we will gain patience. Patience is something that I've never had. I've always been driven my entire life. I spent my entire military career as an experimental test pilot, as director of flight tests at Edwards Air Force Base, and was married at age 24. We had a good marriage. Unfortunately, we were both career driven, and we grew gradually apart until at age 34, even though we were considered the model couple at Edwards Air Force Base and were a counseling family to other test pilots and their families, our marriage disintegrated. I always considered Christ my co-pilot. And then at age 34, I realized I was in the wrong seat. And I changed seats and decided to let Jesus drive and drive my life where he wanted it to go. 2 years after my divorce, I met my second wife, who was the girl I was engaged to for 3 years in college. And we were married a year later. We spent 10 wonderful years together until God called her home with brain cancer. And we went through 6 months of heroics and lost all that time that we could have spent together trying to fight God's will. And in this case, I and my wife now have decided that we're going to have these in-depth conversations about what I want for her, how God is going to bring her through this, how God will provide the same joy and happiness that she has provided to me. And, she needs to look forward, not backwards. I know that I'm going to leave behind a family that is going to be grieving for me. And even though I have gone through the loss of a spouse before and have gone through that grief, I know that God is going to provide for them and that they will be lifted up. As we approach each and every one of our friends, they want to know where my joy is and why I am so hopeful and not grieving for my illness. It's simple. I'm not of this world. My hope is not of this world. My hope is in Jesus Christ. And in Jesus Christ, I know that I have been redeemed through his grace, and that my salvation is assured. And I have to tell them again, it's in the belief of my faith and the knowledge that Jesus Christ is my Savior. He died for my sins. He was resurrected, and I will spend eternity with him. Those that are believers truly understand exactly where I'm coming from. Those that are non-believers reminds me of 1 Thessalonians 4, where it says in verse 13, "But I do not want you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning those who have fallen asleep, lest you sorrow as others who have no hope." I have hope. To not be in control, my entire life is built around control. I control my entire environment. I know exactly what to expect. I feel that I can do everything. In this situation, I can do nothing. God is in control. He is there constantly. He walks beside us. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for he is with me. His rod and his staff, they comfort me. Rejoice always, praying without ceasing, and everything give thanks. God may not answer the prayers that my family may have for me or that I may have for me to remove this disease, but God will answer the prayer on how he is going to bring you forward and provide for his glory and how he's going to use this. And, the fact this is my last Christmas, I still count it as all joy. It's just another opportunity to celebrate with those that I love what God has given me. As I approach my final days, I'm reminded of Psalm 16, which describes the path of life and joy, particularly verses 9 through 11, where it says, "No wonder my heart is glad and I rejoice, my body rests in safety. For you will not leave my soul among the dead, or will your Holy One rot in the grave. You will show me the way of life, granting me the joy of your presence and the pleasures of living with you forever."